those of you who are curious, by the way, I don't know what the heck is going on. Hold on one second. Let me show y'all something really quickly. Keeping in mind, it is almost 11:30 p.m. It is 77 degrees Fahrenheit still in Los Angeles, California. What the heck, dudes? Hey, Winston! Ow! Ow! Winnie! Winnie, Winnie, Winnie! Winnie, Winnie, Winnie! Winston! You know what's weird is I thought I saw much more cats. Here we go, another one. Is this Dick Grayson? Dick Grayson. All right, we got Denise the Menace. Hello, Menace. Are you an absolute menace? Meow, meow. If there's not too many cats today, honestly, it might work out pretty well because I only have 6 cans of food today because it's mostly a me problem. It's a skill issue. Hey, Winnie. Anyways, let's give a quick update. I'm still wearing my Dodger hat. Yesterday was quite the game as far as anxiety content given to me. 18 innings to get the W. Now, I loved the win. That was amazing. I hated that it took 18 freaking innings. That's 2 games effectively. So all I got to say is the people who were spectators during that game must have loved it because they were like, oh, my friend, for you, 2 for 1, Habibi, 2 for 1, 2 for 1. Marble Cat! Hey, Marble Cat! Dick Grayson! Oh, that's me again. That's Dick Grayson. Big V! We're waiting on Big V! Well, ideally we're waiting on Big V. Well, we can only feed with what we got. But, yeah. Oh, this is the echo chamber. It got louder right here. Yeah. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, that game yesterday. 18 innings of anxiety causation. It was, oh my God. Good, loud. It was one heck of a game. So yeah, you know what sucks is that it was tied for the longest game in the history of Major League Baseball. Strangely enough, it tied with another Dodger World Series game. That's right. The Los Angeles Dodgers, between this year and another year, have been in the 2 longest World Series games in recorded history. Both of them are 18 innings. Both of them the Dodgers won. However, the game after that, the game that followed, Das Audi, the game, however, and this is the big rub, the last 18-inning game that the Dodgers won, they proceeded, I can't remember who the opponent was in that World Series off the top of my head. I hope it wasn't the Astros. It wasn't the Astros. It was it the Rangers or... I can't remember exactly who it was. Kitty, kitty, kitties! Dick Grayson! Marble Cat! Winnie! Yeah. Das Auto. Yeah, I can't remember. But yeah, the point is, the last time the Dodgers won an 18-inning baseball game, that was the first game of the series. We went up 1-0, and then we proceeded to lose the next 4 and the series, and somebody else got to celebrate the World Series championship instead of my Dodgers. I'm just sincerely hoping that the same thing doesn't happen after the Dodgers took the dub in 18 innings against the Blue Jays. Hello, Silvana! We're discussing yesterday's rather anxiety-provoking baseball game, which may or may not have aged me about 10 years. But yeah, I gotta tell y'all, the Dodgers... Is it Vivian? Or is it Pauline? I'm so confused. Who are you? That's named James. I tell you, I saw a large white-faced cat here, like a second ago. What the heck happened? What is that? Oh, okay. Or no, it's not Vicky. It's Pauline. No wonder she's running away. But yeah, so point is, that Dodger game freaked me out. Like, I just remember I was like, eye cleaning, okay, Marble Cat? No, sorry. You have a lot of film. Good boy. A lot of eyes on it. But yeah, that game was and then of course we lost the bases too. Like I said, that doesn't surprise me. It would have surprised me if we won. Also, somewhere you didn't win or lose shit. The Dodgers did. You were spectator at best. Alright, 2, 4. They're only doing 6 containers today, not because I don't want to get them more than that, but just because I only have 6 containers. I had a moment of very poor time management today. I forgot that I didn't have food for my cat at home, and then of course I let the time go by, and he was like, well, if you go by. I also had to mail some packages out to some Locksport friends, including Zoe the cat. So I was like, well, I have 3 things to do. I have to feed these cats, I gotta make sure that they have food, and I gotta mail out these packages. And if I do all 3 of them, I will be too late for work. So I did the mailing out, because that was important, but instead of going to buy new cat food for my house cat, I went down to my car where I took the food to these guys, and I just scavenged. Which, I don't love doing it because I'd much rather like try and keep the food for my house cats and these cats separate. So like they can only do what you can do, and like I said, it's also like, oh come on, it's the end of the world. Oh my god, took 5 cans from the street cat and gave them to his cat, many of which used to be street cats. Oh no! These still might be in hard. Hey Winston! I can do it. That's done. Shy, because Dick Grayson and Mickey are like the best bonded pair ever. See, the kid he was like rolling around by Dick Grayson, I could have gotten some pets. But I don't think I'm getting Dick Grayson pets today. I'm lucky to get the Marble Cat pet today. Maybe they need some useful. You know? Dick Grayson! Nope, that's right. That used to be Pauline. Pauline doesn't really meow anymore right now, but she used to. The reason one of the reasons I nicknamed her Queen Pauline is because she don't have this like long, she's got the sustain slider way gotta like not shy away from the cat because you get to come home with you. Alright, enough yammering. I use. Yeah, yesterday after we had our visit with the cats, I went back to my apartment. I ate my Arby's. I passed out on the couch. I woke up at 2 a.m. You know, and I was thinking, I bet if the Dodger game is still going. It was like final 6-5, 18 innings. Freddie Freeman, the hero again. Woo, my boy Freddie. And then the worst part is this is an admission against interest. When I woke up at 2 a.m., I'm like, there's something I'm forgetting here. Oh crap! I need to go visit my parents back because my parents are out of town right now. So in addition to this place, my 2 jobs. The 8 cat currently in my own apartment and all of the above. I forgot about the 9th cat I need to take care of at a separate location. Holy crap. So yeah, yesterday at like 3, well, why am I saying yesterday? It's actually technically today. At like 3 in the morning, I ran over to my parents' house. I'm like, hey Monty, how is it been? Long time no see, Mr. Moon! Mr. Moon! I see Liz the cat. Erishki. Hi Jess! Or hi Human J355. You are actually indeed home. And hello Erishki Gal. Yes, TNR is the like absolute bedrock of dealing with street cats. At this colony, they are all fixed. I will not take credit for fixing them. I will not take credit for fixing them when I don't deserve it. I did fix, you know, I do TNR. It's been a while since I've been super like into the TNR, but I do it. The only one at this colony that I actually managed to get fixed is this guy right here, a marble cat. There's actually video on my channel of the day that he got trapped. There we go. Come back, marble cat. But yeah, all the other cats at this facility, at this location, were fixed before I got here, thankfully. Actually, that's not true, actually. When I first got here, Baby Blue wasn't fixed, but then somebody fixed Baby Blue for me. That was very helpful. But yeah, TNR is so important because we don't want the cats making more cats. That's good. That was the other thing in this is, you know, we don't want to point fingers and say, oh, there's a problem or whatever, but occasionally what happens is, yeah, occasionally what happens is we'll get homeless folk that live in the area that like cats too, and we'll be like, and they'll start taking care of some of the cats, and that's good, but then they don't want to fix the cats, and that's bad. That's really bad. You know, that's how you get, like my most recent pickup, Ozzy the Ozman, you know, he must have came from somebody just failing to TNR Ozzy's parents, and that's a problem. And I mean, you guys know 2 of my foster cats, Sunny and Sully, I TNR'd their parents too. Hey Menace, Denise the Menace. She's a Menace. We got a lot of gray cats today, I'm noticing. We got Dick Grayson. We got Lady Jane Grey back there. Sasha Grey over there. Yes, Sasha Grey is named after the film star. Yes, I have a twisted sense of humor sometimes. Neville's at this colony. I saw Napoleon. Yeah, I saw Napoleon at the other colony, and unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna have food for the dude because I only have 6 cans. Ah! You know, we'll do what we can. There was plenty of dry food and water by Napoleon, so he'll be fine. I went by and I made a lot of meow noises. hoping to attract Senor Fats, and Senor Fats was not coming out. You know, I gotta tell you, I do love it when the gray cats all decide to congregate. Sash? Hmm? Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir. Sorry, folks. Some dude on a bike just came by and asked me if I'm okay. Of course I'm okay. And then he asked me if I'm filming. I said, yep. And then he left. Because, Scott, look at Winston's face. Winnie! Winston! I'm hoping Tatiana comes out to eat soon. She's over there in her little corner. I actually wonder what the Congress of the Gray Cats would be like. Like, do they just sit there and like discuss what it means to be a gray cat? It's like, I'm a gray cat. I'm a gray cat too. Well, how does that affect you, man? Well, I blend in real well. I'm tactical as spook, man. Tactical kitties. Also, crazy stuff. So after I visited my parents' cat Monty last night, and I'm on the way back, which is technically earlier, whatever. Yeah. But when I'm on my way home, I was driving, you know, home from my parents' house to my apartment. I think it's the other way around, where Russian blues are technically gray cats, but gray cats are not, because it's the flow chart of cats, where if you don't have paperwork from a breeder saying it is that breed, then it's a cat. Like, which is kind of funny, because like, I use an iPhone, and iPhone loves to try and get a little too creative with its cat names. So, like, for example, Jamie the cat, who's not here right now, but usually is here, she has a very short tail for whatever reason, and every time I take a picture of her or catch her on video, I swear to you, Apple is like, oh, that's an American bobtail. I'm like, no, it's not. It's a standard issue kitty cat. Yeah. You know what's funny is actually across the street from my parents' house, briefly, there were tenants in this house, and they actually had a Russian blue that they let out on the streets, and I thought that was insane. That was crazy talk. A cat with a breed and papers, and you let him out on the street? Nutso! You know what's funny is, come to think about it, gray is one of the few colors I don't have any representation of in my cat. Well, I mean, at the colony there's plenty of gray cats, but like at my apartment, there's no gray cats. We got 3 orange tabbies, we got a void, we got 2 torties, and the most recent one, young Ozzy, the kitty cat, is a I was driving on Fountain, and there was two big-ass coyotes crossing the streets on Fountain. You know, I didn't yell at them. I try to meet people where they're at, and I mean, the cat was exceptionally friendly. But yeah, I do think it's kind of craziness, because like, I mean, put it this way. There's a house I used to deliver food to many years ago. Not many years ago. Now it's probably about 3-4 years ago. They stopped paying their bills, and that's why we stopped service to them. But it was a congregate living facility called United Care, and it was on a street in the LA Valley called Canterbury Street. So, and across the street from United Care on Canterbury Street, there was a nursery. And one thing you'll notice, by the way, is that there's a lot of homeless cats by nurseries, because there's lots of hidey holes. They like the insects and the small birds that are attracted by the trees or whatever. It's an atmosphere that's very conducive to kitty cat. But in this particular nursery lived, and I kid you not, lived a homeless Siamese cat, like full on, like no Siamese cat without paperwork, so technically just a cat. But I'm telling you, all the classic Siamese traits: the piercing blue eyes, the long nose, the flame point or smoke point, I can't remember what it is. Just everything about this cat was straight up Siamese, and lived on the street. And of course, I called this cat Chaucer. I haven't seen the dude in quite some time, but what a great name for a cat that lives on Canterbury Street, to name him Chaucer. Like, in my opinion, that's gold. Y'all are free to disagree with me or not, but I think that was one of the better names I've come up with in my life of being involved with homeless cats. Fortunately, despite the fact that I personally have not seen Chaucer in quite some time, I do think he's in very good hands, because the house next door to this particular care facility was this old, I'm not sure exactly where they were from, but I believe they were Vietnamese. They might have been Thai, but like one of those Southeast Asian companies. But I believe they were Vietnamese. But they also loved homeless cats, and they would take care. And the lady there, she would actually go and feed Chaucer, and Chaucer actually let her pet him. I never got to pet Chaucer, unfortunately. That kind of sucked. But not the end of the world. I do on my lock screen. I have this one photo of Lil D, like just going nom on a container of meowness, and it's one of the cutest photos of these cats I've ever taken. I think I put it on my Instagram, but I'm not sure. If I didn't, when Halloween Horror Night comes to a close, there are so many things that are like on my to-do list at the end of Halloween Horror Night. I gotta adopt out my foster. I gotta get some of these guys taken out of here so I can demonstrate positive impact to the machine shop. There's so many things to do, so little time. On the plus side, this week I'm very busy between my job for the comprehensive living facilities and like my job at Universal. Sorry. But next week I only got one shift at Universal because Halloween Horror is coming to a close, and that shift is on Sunday. So really during the week, I have no shifts at Universal, and while I might put myself on call, I honestly might take this as a sign from on high to be like, you deserve a week off. Because like, I don't know, for those of y'all who tuned in both yesterday and today, can you tell the difference in my energy level between yesterday? Shut up, dude! Nobody cares about this suburban going on. Bro, you suck at everything. Yeah, I might take that as a sign from on high, like, David, every single, like, yeah. But, like, I hope y'all can, like, tell the difference in my energy level because I had 24 hours to recover and rest. And I didn't even sleep particularly well last night. Like I mentioned, I fell asleep on the couch after eating my dinner, and I woke up at 2 a.m. and I'm like, shit, I forgot to deal with my parents' cat that I'm tackling because they're in New York at the Finger Lakes. So I did like, I did not sleep well, but the fact of the matter is I got some sleep, I got some rest, I got, some anti-inflammatory drugs. Mostly. Or actually, to quote Mitch Hedberg, Advil has candy coating. It's delicious. And that's my like one admission against interest. Obviously, I hate the American medical system and the fact that it's so for profit. And I really, I would never recommend name brand drugs, generally speaking, because they're the same as the generic at many much times the price. However, Advil does have a candy coating, and it is delicious. I would never spend money on like the liquid gels, or that's a total waste of money, or like name brand Motrin with the orange pills or whatever. But hell yeah, give me all the Advil. I love it. I would spend the extra money for the Advil. I know I'm a corporate shill for that, but it's got a candy coating. It's delicious. Also, not for nothing, but more manufacturers coat their pills with sugar coating. Then the young kids would be like, oh, look at that. Like, I don't know if y'all remember, there used to be, they banned it when the meth epidemic really started in the early 2000s. There used to be a combination drug. You can still get it in Canada, I believe, and other places that are more enlightened. But there used to be a combination antihistamine drug called Rexoral, and it was pseudoephedrine and I believe it was DXM. But yeah, basically it was a combination of these two. And because, of course, we had a lot of pseudoephedrine, when the meth epidemic became a thing, they stopped selling it in the States. Whenever my family would go to Canada, we would stock up on Rexoral. That stuff was the bomb. But back in the day, yes, Rexoral was a green pill with a candy coating. And hell yeah, that's my kind of green. Oh my God. Hi, Susan. Yeah, no, they mostly finished eating. I didn't have a whole heck of a lot of food today. Just a little bit of a shortage, but it's all right. We got them fed. Let's give you a quick status update. Tatiana's over there eating in the corner. Oh no, Bootsy the Gray Cat was over here and then she ran away. When I get a chance, I'm gonna try and clean up this mess because I'm sure a large part of it is caused by cat feeders. Bye, Pauline. Hey, T. We love everyone here is in the Tatiana fan club. Marble cat. So yeah, Tatiana's still eating, but yeah, basically what I did was, what I do is at the end of feeding, I take all the containers that I've set out for them, and I try and consolidate them into 1 or 2 containers, just so, to decrease waste, because, you know, you want to show that you can be a good neighbor, as it were, to the people who actually pay rent to, like, you know, use these facilities. But yeah, we got Tatiana cam, Scream Queen Pauline cam, Winnie cam. Hey T. See, I was me blocking the light. Come on, David, what kind of photo major are you when you're literally blocking your key light? Numpty. But yeah. But it's good to see that Tatiana's eating. I also kind of have to make my bed with the fact that this container will not be here next time I'm here. And speaking of that, the next time I will be here will be Thursday, because tomorrow I'm working at Universal, and Friday I'm also working at Universal. Hey David, what's your shifts like at Universal? Well, tomorrow is not too bad. It's just 5:30 to 1. But Saturday and Sunday and Friday, come to think about it, I'm working 7 p.m. to 3 in the morning. Or 2:30, because they make you punch at 2:30 because the walk time is a half hour. But the point is, God above, I'm screwed. In other news, Denise the Menace says goodbye. Pauline says goodbye. The Marble Cat way down there says goodbye. And I'm going to also say goodbye because I need to go visit Mr. Monty Moo, my parents' cat, again. And also, I need to sleep. You know, allegedly, it's a thing you need to do every now and then, just to, you know, refresh your energy levels. Okay, all right, also update. Tatiana has been removed, and Bootsy the gray cat has come in. I don't really have a name for this one other than Bootsy because she's got the little white boots. Okay, but if Tatiana's piecing out, we are going to move this container out of here. T, if you want the food, you know where to find it because you've been there before. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work, Silvana, but honestly, as a whole, Halloween Horror Nights has been very rewarding for me because I think I've done very well. Like, I don't, you know, it's very hard for me to accept my own compliments at times. Be that because of anxiety issues or because, you know, growing up in an Orthodox Jewish background in an Orthodox Jewish school, one of the big things that they drill into you is modesty at all times. So, you know, you don't want to toot your own horn too loudly. But, you know, but that being said, I think I've been doing damn well so far at Halloween Horror. Like, I'm maintaining, you know, I'm cool under pressure. My attitude is generally positive, and I mean, I'm good at what I do. Like, you know, I'll be the first one to admit that I have absolute garbage time management skills. It's a side effect of my ADHD, and if I could get an accommodation for that from the Americans with Disabilities Act, that would be great. But the simple fact of the matter is my biggest shortcoming as an employee is the fact that I'm not always on time, because I lose track of time very easily. But once I'm on the clock, I'm going. We are going. And so yeah. But yeah, Silvana, like I think I mentioned yesterday, but I'll mention it very briefly today. On Sunday, really was kind of a hell shift because my shift lead called in sick. Two of the really strong cooks that were supposed to close called in sick, and so it was me, another strong cook named Michelle, and what is effectively the B team. If you guys are watching, I don't want to denigrate you too much, but y'all know who you are. I won't name names, obviously. And here's the thing: the B team, perfectly decent people. I have no problem with them as human beings. As cooks, however, they are a step down from the people who called in sick, and and when the lead is sick, so effectively, so hopefully they give me lead pay, which, because I was kind of functioning as the lead that night, but it's so hopefully I get a bonus for acting as the lead that night. But yeah, Sunday was just, that's why I was so tired yesterday when I was at the Cats, is because I just worked so hard on Sunday that just every part of my body was just sore. Just every single part of my body was just ready to check out, and like no amount of Motrin could like make the soreness go away. But and to be clear, I'm still a little bit sore today, but like I popped a couple of Motrins before going to work, and I still feel fine, and my energy level's still decent even though it's midnight. We're gonna head home soon though. But everyone say hi to Napoleon. He's still here. I have no food for him, unfortunately, but he does have plenty of dry food. But everyone say hi to Napoleon. Hi, Napoleon. Ha 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 ha. Got a wave from Elijah to Napoleon. Yeah, I also have not seen Fats in quite some time over here. I hope he's okay. I'm sure he is, but he's just back. I also tend to think that if I come this late, it's too late for Fats. He's out. To see Fats, I gotta be here between 7 and 9, I think. But yeah, it was quite the grand. It was exquisite idea. Yes, indeed, sir, or madam, or non-binary. All are welcome here at this channel. But yes, I am indeed in the LA Valley region. We raise my windshield, my window. Yeah, I am indeed in the LA Valley. I personally do not live in the valley, but I do work in the valley, and in my experience, not to say that there aren't tons of feral cat colonies on the other side of the hill, but more of them are on this side of the hill. And just because of the way the valley is structured, with it being more spread out, there's more spots for cats to go. In old style LA, it can be a very tricky spot for the cats. Please go, thank you. Bitchin' Camaro, I ran over my neighbor. Bitchin' Camaro, now I'm in all the papers. My folks bought me a bitchin' Camaro with no insurance to match. So if I happen to run you down, please don't leave a scratch. I ran over some old lady right down at the county fair, and I didn't get arrested because my dad's the mayor. Bitchin' Camaro, donuts on your lawn. Bitchin' Camaro, Tony Orlando, and yeah, I saw a Camaro go by the other way, and suddenly I'm thinking about the dead milkman. I know, random. Woo! But yes, to answer your question, exquisite idea. Yes, I'm currently in the valley. I will be leaving. Oh, do the Congress joke. Okay, just for Silvana, we'll do the Congress joke. Okay, Matthew, get ready for this one. It's a banger. Don't you fucking dare. Alright, so if pro is the opposite of con, what is the opposite of progress? Congress! Here's another dad joke I got for y'all. That also government's still shut down. You know, loving it, loving this timeline that I exist on. It's the best. Let's see. Sir. So here's another dad joke that I quite like. And I actually answered this honestly, and the person who initially told it to me, because I answered it so earnestly the first time, literally thought, like, are you making fun of me? And I was like, no. I literally fell into this joke. You got me on this one, and I got it. You know. Anyways, so here's the joke. You know, in school, you have to take quizzes and tests. And some quizzes are quizzical. And if you have a quizzical quiz, what kind of test do you have? Chat, let me in on this one. Chat, finish the joke in 30 seconds or I'm finishing it for you. If you have a quizzical quiz, what kind of test do you have? Throw your answers down in the chat now. You're running out of time. 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You have a testicle test. But a quizzical quiz and a testicle test. So yeah, I literally said testicle test. Yeah. I literally said testicle test, and the guy who first said it was, and I was like, a testicle, oh fuck! And he's like, did you do that just to spite me? I'm like, no dude, I walked into it. I'm just that kind of dork. But yeah, Sylvan's like, not gonna say it. That's fine. It's all good, because, you know, when I drive past the kids, they all spit and cuss, because I've got a Mission Camaro and they have to ride the bus. Side note, it is obscene that it is midnight and it's still in the mid-70s. Like, what the heck is going on, people? It's almost November. Alright, lockpick, get ready for some 80-mile-an-hour lockpick. This is really stunning on shit. Oh, Sylvana, I'm almost envious of 42 degrees. It's way too friggin' hot for late October. I don't know if I'm envious of 42, but I would love some 52. For real, for real. We got a lovely fit on this Craftsman padlock. Open. Perfect timing to get the open because I had to pass somebody who was too slow. Oh, life is fun sometimes when you're flexing on them bitches. Time to horror farm. past Universal Studios. Yeah, yo bunny brot. Alright, I need to stop being a jackwagon. But it's so much fun to be a jackwagon. Are you a cop? You're not a cop, you're just an explorer. Yeah, no, I agree, Silvano. When I was in college in New York, the 40s were actually lovely. I'm not gonna lie, when I first came back from New York after college, like everything in California was jeans and t-shirt weather. And even like my parents would be like, David, it's so cold. I'm like, it's cold for you. I've been living in New York for the past few years. This is nothing burger. And now my blood is thinned out again and I'm a West Coaster softy again. And it sucks. Since I'm going to my parents' house, not my house, I'll leave the thing going a little bit longer. You guys can get a little tour through LA, I guess. I mean, some of y'all live in LA. Some of y'all have been here many times. This is the David tour, as it were. Alright. Put it in third gear. Get a little engine braking for the Highland off-ramp. Big cross on the hill. Oh, Prius is broken down. Let's get out of the way. I hate these bollards that they put up. I'm telling y'all, one day I'm going to come over here with a freaking big ass metal pipe on the front of my car and I'm driving over every single one of them. They suck. I hate them. I hate them so much. They didn't used to be there until recently, and then they... Who's... Junior H? Sad Boys? I don't give a damn. That sounds like a snooze fest show at the bowl. I missed the banger that was Devo and the B-52s. So if you're in NoHo, you're not far, like I believe my colony is technically in NoHo. It's it's on Webb Avenue near Strathern. If you've got your valley geography down pretty. Oh wait, hold on. Not 2, 3. I find putting this transmission in third gear gives me a really nice controlled descent where I don't need to ride my brakes like all these suckers. See these brake riding losers? I have not hit the brakes yet. I have to now because these guys suck. Also, all right, yeah. The reason I kept the thing going is for anybody who's curious. By the way, this is the Magic Castle. It's one of the most famous like locations and clubs in Magic and whatnot. Famously, Penn and Teller were kicked out of it for showing off secrets. But I've never been to the Magic Castle, but I live near it and I've driven by it many a times. And now you guys get to see, boom, boom, boom. That's the Magic Castle. Magic Castle Hotel and Club. So yeah, Penn and Teller got kicked out for revealing Magic secrets. My thing is still in manual mode for some reason. Yeah, one day I'll get around to finally making it to the Magic Castle, especially because it's like I could walk there if I wanted to. But it's just I just haven't gotten around to it. Medieval times? Is that kind of like a Ren Fair situation, Silvana? I'm glad we're back in the city too. Now there's enough light that I can actually turn off my overhead and like see better. Waymo! So I know for exquisite idea. Oh, live jousting. Oh, I think I heard. Yes. Okay, yeah. No, I've seen that. It's pretty cool. It's like the Ren Fair inside of a restaurant. It's nuts. But yeah, exquisite idea notwithstanding, because he lives near me. But dude, for you guys, do y'all have Waymos in your neck of the woods? The autonomous Jaguars. This guy's doing the potty dance in the middle of the street. Interesting. Oh, so they have, and that I don't know why I'm surprised that they would have them in the East Coast megalopolis, but yeah. I've yet to take a ride on those Waymos, but they're a trip. I will say another thing. Of late, I've been seeing the Waymos, like the Waymo Gen 2, as it were, like, because like the original Waymos are like these dudes, where they just have a Jaguar I-Pace with no drive and a shit ton of sensors and whatnot. Oh wait, no, right on red. Ah, green. What's this guy doing? No indicator. I'm a neon Aria, and I'm just gonna make a Yui out of nowhere. But yeah, I don't know if y'all have seen the new, like the Gen 2 Waymos, which are like custom built cars now instead of like repurposed Jags. And I swear to y'all, when I look at them, the only thing I see is like, when I tell y'all that the Gen 2 Waymo, hey Tong Tong, yeah, when I tell y'all that the Gen 2 Waymo looks straight up like the car from Dumb and Dumber, but without the shag carpeting on the outside, I'm kidding. To me, the new Gen 2 Waymos look either like I said, like the Dumb and Dumber mobile, but without the carpeting, or like something that Blue's Clues would drive. Like, they're bizarre looking shit. Mahalo, bitches. All right. We're now in West Holly. Oh, True Builder? True Builder has not showed up yet so far, but I'm sure he'll show up later. Anyways, also, friggin' Just Food for Dogs. It is a fashionable corner store with Helvetica for dogs. Why? Sorry, I wouldn't be freaking out so much if I could get Just Food for cats, but like, to me that is what the shit biscuits going on? Oh, it's just water. But like, to have like a Helvetica themed food, like corner shop that looks like it could be a fashionable like hipster coffee shop or some shit that's actually food for dogs is like crazy work. Well, I mean, I agree, Tong Tong, but unfortunately that food is literally, it's Just Food for Dogs. The name of the name, they don't make anything for cats. I'm sure you could feed the Just Food for Dogs to cats. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that cat food is more nutrient dense than dog food. So basically cats would need to eat more dog food if you gave it to them instead of cat food. I believe that's the case. Also, to answer your question, exquisite idea, I drive an 03 Acura TL. It's a great grandma car. I do drive it like I stole it though. It's not the, honestly, what happened was that I was driving a 2011 Chevrolet and, it had a time. Oh yeah, and then I had just sunk like $1,000 into it for a new timing chain, and then right after the timing chain repair, I think I had a transmission go or something like that. And in my head, I'm like, I'm done with this fucking American piece of shit. Like I have dealt with this unreliable American car for more than long enough. I'm gonna sell this broken junker for parts, and I'm gonna put a down payment on a new car, possibly electric, and we'll just keep it pushing. And my parents had thoughts. They were like, no, we'll pay for the repair. I'm like, you don't understand. No amount of financial aid from you guys will change my mind that this car and me are no longer compatible. So they finally decide, okay, we really like the Malibu for some reason, so we'll switch cars with you. You can have our Acura, because this used to be my parents' car, and we'll take your Malibu. And I said, sold American, because that was the easiest switch I've ever done in my life. Are you kidding me? Getting rid of a base model Chevy for an Acura? Are you kidding me, dude? I don't care that the Chevy was a 2011 and that this car is a 2003. This car has heated seats, this car has a sunroof, this car has leather, this car has a V6 with VTEC, real VTEC, not iVTEC. When the VTEC kicks in, it makes a beautiful noise. So yeah, I quite like this car. One of the, you know, and yeah, I quite like this car. It does, this generation of TLs did have a known problem, and I believe it was not just this generation of TLs, it was all Hondas and Acuras made around the early 2000s with V6 engines. The transmissions were not strong enough to handle the engines, so these cars do have a reputation for killing transmissions. And indeed, if you go on the used car classifieds, you'll find tons of TLs and RLs and what else? TSXs and all that. Not TSXs because they were only 4-cylinder, but like you'll find mostly TLs and CLs. You will find tons of these with like, runs great last time I had it out, just needs a new transmission. Every TL you'll see used for cheap is like, runs great last time I had it, transmission needs repair or transmission needs rebuild, because these things launch transmissions. And as a matter of fact, my transmission is a rebuilt transmission. and I've basically come to the conclusion that I'm going to rock this rebuilt transmission for as long as I possibly can, and then I'm going to put a manual transmission in this car. It's going to take a little bit jiggery pokery, but if I can drive a car with 3 pedals. I miss driving a car with 3 pedals, and the reliability will improve to no end just by getting rid of these wacky ass early 2000s Japanese automatics that they love to fail. You know what's crazy? The car I learned to drive in was a 2001 Volvo station wagon. Loved that car, still miss that car. But also had a Japanese transmission made by Eisen, and it was also shit. It's crazy how bad Japanese automatics were in the early 2000s. And what's even crazier is Japanese cars in that period were crazy reliable and crazy well built and super good, except for the transmissions, which were shit. It's kind of a tragic comedy in my opinion. Anyways, pardon the darkness, but I have arrived at my parents' house. So you guys don't get to see where I'm at. Ha ha. You savor the black screen of death, because there ain't. I know I've been done a pretty good job of not showing y'all where my parents' house is, but yeah, we're here now. Boom. Also, in other news, I was going to be a lockpicker one way or another. It was decided at birth. My parents' doors are Medico. Not only that, they're dual cylinder Medico. This is a code violation now. Oh, Tom Tongue, I already fed the cats, actually. You can go back and watch the video from earlier, but yeah, the cats have been fed. Well, most of the cats have been fed. Yeah, already done. Today, we are visiting my parents' cat. Hey, Mr. Moo. This is Monty. I rescued him, of course. His name is Monty because I found him in La Crescenta, Montrose. And yes, you can see, he's TNR. Mr. Moo! Don't worry, your real parents will be home tomorrow. And you won't need to deal... I'm not sure if emerald green, but he's just a beautiful cat. He's bored and lonely, though, at the moment. I think he would benefit tremendously from a second cat to keep him company, because my parents go away a lot. Yeah, Monty's just ornery sometimes. But yeah, on my Instagram, there's even pictures of him when he was still a kitten, when I was trying to get him adopted, but it ended up being my parents who adopted him. That worked out really well. In other news, and y'all only get to see this for 1 second because Jesus Louises, but are you ready for my high school graduation photo? 3, 2, 1, go. Jesus Christ. I looked ridiculous. Oh, my Insta username... Yeah, my Insta username is the same as, I've actually had really good luck as far as, consistent, username and stuff. My username is David Romano67 across almost all platforms. Yeah, I mean, I had just such long hair, Silvana, too. It's I look like doo-doo garbage. One of the many nicknames my parents gave the cat is Little Lion, because he's a little lion. Also, tub. Original porcelain tub from the 20s with a non-compliant spigot that's below the actual level of the tub. Mr. Moo! I mean, you know what's crazy is my brother looks really good, or I don't know about really good, but he looks perfectly presentable in his high school photos, and I look homeless. Hey, Mr. Moo. Fine, walk away. Okay, Tong Tong, one more shot at the homeless pic, but it's the same thing as last time. You're getting like 1 second to look at it, and then, all right. Brace yourselves, guys. Get your screenshots ready if you want to see Dorky David. Ready? 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 Get your screenshots ready. Get your fingers ready. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Yeah. Ridiculous. Also, because my school's colors were green, my graduation gown was green. Some things you should just let it ride, and I think one of those things is I think graduation gowns should be black. Like, if you want to get creative, that's fine, I guess. But like, me personally, I think, I think when it comes to graduation caps and gowns and all that stuff, I think we keep it, like many things, black is beautiful. This is like my parents' little peccadillo, by the way. I have a halo. Oh, yeah, oh, oh. I mean, of course my parents love it. My parents will love anything that I do. Because I'm the special boy. Litter of choice? All right. Semi-loaded question. All right. My litter of choice is the best litter that I can afford. So at the moment, in my opinion, I think the best litter that I've ever used, personally, has been World's Best. I think it's fantastic. I think it clumps really nicely. It's flushable, which is fantastic. Yeah. No, of course my parents love it, Sylvana. They think I'm their special little boy graduating high school. Also, what they didn't know at the time was that was the last school I was going to graduate, because I never graduated college. But yeah, to answer your question, exquisite idea, my favorite that I've ever used, my favorite that I've ever used is World's Best. It's a corn kernel litter. It's a little bit on the, yes, it's a little bit on, like if you have 1 or 2 cats, I think it makes perfect sense. If you have as many cats as I do, unless somebody's sponsoring you or you make a lot of money, it's just not affordable, because I think it's like $30 for a 28-pound bag or something like that. And like I said, if you don't go through a ton of litter, if you have like 1 cat, 2 cats, maybe even 3 cats, I think World's Best is probably your best pick. You can flush it down the toilet. Like I said, it clumps quickly. It's not nearly as dusty as clay. But so yeah, World's Best multi-cat in an ideal world would be my #1 pick for cat litter. Yeah. What I use currently in my apartment is I use feline pine. I use the pine pellet litter, which is, in my opinion, it's not quite as good as World's Best as far as cleanliness, but it is very inexpensive. I think for the Arm & Hammer brand, it's like $20 for a 40-pound bag. And for the generic one, which is like pet something or other, I can't remember what the name of the brand, but that one's like under $20 for 40 pounds. It's the deal of the century as far as that go, and it lasts a fairly long time. And it's non-clumping. The one thing that is better that you should, yeah, Fresh Step Multicat. You know, and here's the thing. Whatever you can afford, no. The kind, I think there was actually like a big thing with Target and Kindful, their like pet brand, where there was like a recall where it was like making pets sick. Yeah, avoid the Target brand stuff at all costs, in my opinion. Like there are plenty of name brand stuff, or not name brand. There's plenty of like generic brand stuff that could be great. Costco, Kirkland is pretty good. But like, yeah, the Target one, absolutely not. Avoid. My parents, in case you're curious, use Dr. Esley's Ultra. They use a clay litter. I don't love clay litters just because they're super dusty, and that's not like the vibe I'm going for. But that being said, ooh, it's dark in here. Yeah, but that being said, yeah. You know, whether you clumping or non-clumping, I think is really up to you and what your cat likes. One of my cats, Emily, the tortie, hates the pine pellet litter. She won't use it under any circumstances. And so I've got multiple litter boxes, as befits having multiple cats, and the vast majority of those litter boxes are the pine pellet. But one litter box, just for Emily's super special ass, is the friggin' walnut shell, like Nature's Best or something like that, the walnut shell litter, which is pretty good too. It's a little bit cheaper than World's Best, but like I said, Emily likes it, and that's what matters the most. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, my recommendation would be price no option, go World's Best. If you want to go, yeah, and I mean, there's inexpensive versions of both clumping and non-clumping litter. So buy whatever you can afford and whatever your cat likes. Like I said, currently I use primarily the feline pine pellet litter, and most of my cats like it. They don't mind it. You know, because it's not clumping, once I get the poop separated and most of like the big chunks of pine pellets out, it goes straight down the toilet just like everything else. And then when you know, at some point it starts to, and then that's when you know, like, okay, the pine pellets can no longer absorb odors and litters and what have yous the way they should. So we're gonna call it a night. Well, like, I mean, Petco sells that litter that like. Louisa doesn't have a breed as such. I found her on the street, but coloration wise, she's a tortoiseshell. But as far as cat breeds, she's just a cat. All my cats are just cats. They have no papers from breeders, unfortunately. All right. Hold on. Something about my life, Tom wants to know. All right, here's a fun one. This used to be this is the house I grew up in, by the way. This used to be my favorite spot on the couch. And to this day, I still sit here and wonder why the fuck my parents have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 VHS baseball box set that I got for my bar mitzvah in 2005. And why is it still here? And why are there cassettes? And why is one of them Don Henley? Like, these are questions I ask myself when it's late at night, such as it is right now, and... Oh, cool, anti-Semitism. Don't block him, Elijah. Keep him in. How's life in Elb? You still here, Napoleon Bartya? Yeah, I agree. Free Palestine. You can't even spell, my guy. But yeah, the clock is a little slow. But yeah, why baseball? Why Don Henley? So question, Napoleon Bonaparte. Do you want to free Palestine because you disagree with Israel or because you don't like Jews? Or por qué no los dos? Like, curious question here. Seriously want to know. Come on, answer. You're being engaged with now. You thought your trolling was going to go well, and it's not. All right, I'll do my parents a favor and switch this shit up. I'm asking, do you want to free Palestine because you believe that Palestine deserves liberation, or are you just an anti-Semite? Tell me. I want to know. I really want to know. Did the cat get your tongue? Elijah's got the ticket. Hello? All right, way more better. Actually, shit. Nope. Technologia! We're going to set it 1 minute fast so it'll slow down over time. All right, we want it in Fahrenheit. Cool. Big ween. Yes. We need to free Palestine, but keep in mind, I am of the Jewish persuasion, as the matzah and the frickin' lulav will be a dead giveaway of. You know, so while we should absolutely free Palestine, we cannot use the horrible things that the country of Israel is doing to denigrate Jewish people. not all Jewish people support what the country of Israel is doing. A lot of Jewish people don't even support Israel at all. And to be clear, where my position is, I do think that there should be in some form a state of Israel or a Jewish homeland, but not this kind of funhouse mirror genocidal terror state that's been created over the past several years and really turbocharged by Netanyahu. All right, that being said, but yeah, my dad is Israeli. He was born in Tel Aviv. It's a tricky situation for me, but I could never personally co-sign genocide. It's kind of fucked up, and it's really fucked up that the Jews became the genociders. Like who's next? Who's next to become the people who do the genocides? The Armenians? It is a very complicated notion, exquisite idea, and that's why that's why it's way too much to settle on a YouTube live stream where we're mostly bullshitting and talking about cats and whatnot. But like I said, I do think that there should be a Jewish homeland, and I do think that at least in some degree, it should be in that neck of the woods, because that's kind of the ancestral homeland of Jews, as per the Bible. But that being said, Jews have been living in a diaspora for 2,000 years. So really, where is our homeland? You could argue historically that it was indeed in Israel and Palestine, but for the past 2,000 years, at least until 1948, it wasn't. But then you can also argue about the impetus for the creation of the Jewish state in the aftermath of the Holocaust really happened because of the Holocaust, because they were. So it's the biggest can of worms that I don't necessarily want to get into right now. Beyond saying it's complicated as fuck, and we're not going to figure it out. But beyond that, genocides are bad. I don't think that's a controversial statement, and I kind of think that Bibi Netanyahu and the current Israeli government are a bunch of genocidal maniacs who really, at the very least, deserve their day in front of the International Criminal Court. And to be honest with you, I'm going to say this. You know how in the aftermath of the signing of the Oslo Accords in '94, some crazy right-wing Jewish, like Israeli ethno-nationalist, I think he was a Kahanist, a follower of Meir Kahane, assassinated Rabin. If some extreme left-wing Jewish Zionist, like a communist Jew living in Israel, decided to assassinate Bibi Netanyahu, not only would I not shed a single tear, I would literally invite all my friends and all 2,000 followers that I have to my apartment and be like, the motherfucker's dead, let's party. And honestly, yeah. And they killed him because he signed the Oslo Accords. It's messed up. And you know what? What's crazy is that literally in the aftermath of the death of the assassination of Rabin, that was when Netanyahu first came to power. And here's the thing. We don't need to talk about the Israel-Palestine issue too much, but anytime you give me the opportunity to trash Bibi Netanyahu, I'm taking that opportunity. Fuck that guy. I hate him so much. I hate that because I'm technically an Israeli citizen, but I can't vote because I'm not a resident and I don't have an ID card. I only have a passport. And if I could vote the motherfucker out of office, I would, but I can't. So all I can do is be like, fuck that guy. Like, honestly, and I say this as a fairly left of center person, although I'm not a Democrat, because those guys are clowns too. But whose death would I celebrate more, the orange fascist or Netanyahu? Ooh, toss up, but probably Netanyahu. Like, don't get me wrong, fuck Trump and everything that he does, but I would celebrate more when Netanyahu died. I would literally, I'm smoking on BB Pack the entire, there's a concept in Judaism is that when a loved one dies, you should sit Shiva for 7 days, and then you have a year mourning period where you're not supposed to shave, you're not supposed to listen to music, you're supposed to live a very ascetic life for a 1 year mourning period after when a very close loved one dies. When I say very close loved one, I mean Well, I mean, Elijah, that's what he did, because they voted him out with that strange, like, what was his face? Was it Benny Gantz or something like that? And, and they voted him out, and they somehow managed to weasel his way back in. That the man, the man has found a way to twist and corrupt the parliamentary system to his will. And it's primarily because there's no longer a strong left in Israel anymore. Like, you gotta remember, one of the strongest parties in Israel for the longest time was the Israeli Labor Party, Ha'avodah. That's labor in Hebrew. Labor has not had a president or any real presence in the Israeli elections since the early 2000s. The last Labor president was Ehud Barak. Like, this is so long ago. And Labor used to be the left wing of Israel. It was Labor was the left and Likud was the right. But there is no more left. They're gone. It's bye-bye. They're completely marginalized. So what Bibi manages to do is he forms exactly. I mean, look, exquisite idea. If you want some like serious conspiratorial thinking, which the more time goes by isn't as conspiratorial as I think October 7th might have been a false flag. I mean, the Palestinian parties can't do much of anything because the Palestinian parties aren't represented in the Knesset. What is represented in the Knesset are the Israeli Arab parties, if you will, like Tal and Ta'al. I believe there was one called Ram. There were a bunch of the, there was Hadash, which was like an Arab communist party, or like it was an Arab but also Jewish kind of secular communist party, kind of a little bit Ba'athist, but like more communist. And honestly, they're like the whole thing, like the Israeli Labor Party is a shell of what it once was. The actual left-wing parties like Hadash, like Meretz, which is the party that most of my family in Israel vote for, which is like a green party, like a green socialist party. Like, these parties get like 1 seat, 2 seats, maybe. So what Bibi is able to do is he's able to corrupt the parliamentary system by basically forming coalitions with the Likudniks, the like right-wing secular Israeli parties like that are like, like the Russian party, Israel Beitenu. He gets the religious parties like Shas and Agudat Israel, and then he gets all the loony bins of Israel to form a coalition of the loony, and it's a bad place to be when you're Israel. And it's an even worse place to be when you're Palestinian, but it's a bad place to be when you're Israel, because you're watching the dream of your country completely crumble, thanks to one demagogue. But yeah, the more time goes by, I do think that he did October 7th as a false. Like, you're telling me that Mossad, one of the greatest intelligence agencies, according to them, didn't know that this was going to happen? Come the fuck on. I think Bibi knew that he was going to get voted out in the next election. He's like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to have some crazy shit going on. I'm going to institute martial law and suspend democracy for a little while so I can stay in power, because if I leave power, I'm in jail where I belong. But yeah, the Venn diagram of money and power is a very bad place. But by the same token, and I've said this before, I don't think we should erase. I don't think any of the very legitimate and valid criticism of the modern day state of Israel, I don't think any of that should count as should enable or excuse anti-Semitism, the cultural erasure of Jews in the Middle East, which is a big thing that I have a bone to pick with, because Look, I know a ton of Jews, especially, and many of the modern day Israeli population come from Europe, are European Jews that were displaced for various reasons and ended up in Israel in the aftermath of World War II. But there is a not insignificant contingent, which my family is a part of, that lived in that area for hundreds upon hundreds of years. Prior to the British Mandate of Palestine, we're talking the Ottoman Emirate of Jerusalem time. And so whenever people say, oh, there's no Jews in that area, bullshit. My family was in that area, and I've mentioned this before. When people say, oh, like I see a lot of cooks, like because I'm a cook professionally, I see a lot of cooks go on YouTube when they get asked as a troll, like, oh, make us an Israeli meal, and they say, well, there's no Israeli culture, and here, let me make you this Palestinian meal. Well, guess what? That Palestinian meal is the same as the Israeli meal, which is the same as the Syrian meal, which is also the same as the Lebanese meal, because it's all from the fucking Levant. It's all the same cuisine. There's some minor differentiation, but guess what? Everybody in that area, regardless of whether they're Muslim, Jewish, Christian, Druze, they all eat a shit ton of hummus. They all eat a shit ton of tahina. They all love falafel. They all love shawarma. They all yeah. No, but like that's the thing. When you say, of course, you see a lot of people in modern day discourse being like, no, that's specifically Palestinian food, and it's just not. Which is not to say that it's Israeli food either. It's Levantine cuisine. You could put a spin on it, like, for example, I believe Muslims can eat shellfish, whereas Jews can't. So, like, yeah, you're gonna see maybe shrimp in Lebanese and Palestinian cuisine, where you're never gonna see that in Israeli cuisine. And by the same token, there's definitely in Israeli cuisine, in addition to all the like Levantine traditions, there's a lot of stuff that we brought in from. Yeah, I mean, same. I was never in Tunisia, but I've been to Morocco. The Jewish diaspora is wide-ranging and ever-present. And Monty is hunting a fly. Either that or he's really interested in VHS. Yes, Mr. Moo? Yeah, they did used to blend beautifully. I mean, here's the thing. I do think that people tend to over-exaggerate the comfort that Jews live with in Muslim majority countries. Now, granted, compared to living in like Spain, for example, or England, or like any of the European countries that forcibly exiled their Jewish population, living in a place like Morocco or Moorish Spain, for example, compared to Castilian Spain, was absolute heaven for the Jews. But yeah, make no mistake, the Jews were still second-class citizens in the Muslim world. They were barely second-class citizens. Like the spacing was smaller, but they were still second-class. But yeah, you're absolutely right. There's the history of the blood libels. There's there's a whole lot of stuff. But also, I mean, look, people are scared of what's different. That's why. That's why anti-Semitism exists historically, because this is a very small, isolated minority of people who are very different from the norm. It's a natural human condition to be scared of the other, and we have to fight that, because that natural condition leads to prejudice and leads to hate if you let it. But I mean, we all experience that fear of the other from time to time, and it's a question of, is it valid, or is it out of bigotry or hate? I mean, the classic example is, I was talking with one person, and I literally asked her, like, when you see a black dude coming your way, do you cross the street? And to that, I ask you, chat, when you see a black dude coming the opposite direction, do you cross the street? You shouldn't. But do you? You know? Let's at. Yeah, I mean, look, haters are gonna hate. Every single culture has haters. You know. You know. I mean, shit. I mean, there's literally a video on my channel of me being told to go fuck myself by another cat feeder. Haters abound in every community. You know, the trick is not to tolerate their hate, and but also to just not let it affect you. It's kind of a weird double standard where you have to shut down hate, and you have, you know, instantly, but you also like. Yeah, I mean, and you know what, Silvana? That's classic capitalism. That's voting with your wallet. That's, you know, and while we have a capitalist system while we have a capitalist economic system, that's how you tell people what you want and what you don't want. If someone treats you like shit or votes for a policy that you don't like or whatever, don't give them your money. It's that simple. You know, a case in point for me is with extremely close to my apartment, there is a Chick-fil-A. They're closed on Sunday. Yeah. Like, I don't go, I as a matter of principle, will not go to Chick-fil-A because of their historically very conservative and anti-LGBTQ stance. And the fact that they've given a lot of money to anti-LGBTQ charities and movements. Namely, I remember they were throwing in huge amounts of money when California had Prop 8 back in like 2008, I think it was. So yeah, absolutely. I encourage people to vote with their wallet. If somebody, you know, like, that's why I think it's amazing to see, you know, and I mean, and here's the thing. You know, people can do this on both sides of the political spectrum. I mean, do you not think that Kid Rock shooting those Bud Light cans because a trans influencer, you know, that was a prime example of, well, two things. Number one, a conservative snowflake having a crash out. But number two, he was voting with his wallet. Now, that's not a very good example because in case of Kid Rock and shooting out those Budweisers, he literally spent his own money for those buds and then spent more money on bullets to shoot it out. I mean, I boycott Bud Light too, but not because of anything related to the Dylan Mulvaney situation or anything like that. I boycott Bud Light because it's a shit beer. Like, you shouldn't need a political or cultural reason to boycott Bud Light. It's just an awful way to get drunk. Like, it's inefficient. It tastes like piss. You know, how are Bud Light and having sex in a canoe similar? They're both fucking close to water, dude. Like, them shits is boof. Yeah, and I mean, look, when I'm driving to the colony these days, I drive past a Budweiser. I drive past the Budweiser plant in Van Nuys, and it always smells like the stalest of stale, like, cream of wheat or some shit like that. I don't like it smells like, you know what the Budweiser plant smells like? It smells like cereal that's been in milk for far too long, and it's starting to, like, well, it's malting because that's literally what they're doing, but, like, ugh, it doesn't smell right. That's all I'm saying. Like, we live in the big 2025. There's numerous other options for beers. You can be one of those stupid fucking hipsters with your like, I like too many hops IPAs and you know, Stone Brewing is there for you. You can be like me and be like a classy but kind of prissy son of a bitch. No, I didn't exquisite idea, but I'm now that you mention that, I need to look that up because I love the history of LA. I would assume it was probably somewhere like near Van Nuys Airport or whatever, but yeah, if you're like me, you ain't drinking that piss. Like seriously, my favorite beer of all time is, because I'm a bougie ass bitch, is Duvel. It's a Belgian ale. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. It's also extremely expensive. Yeah, no, I agree, Silvana. If you treat people I care about like shit, you've lost my business too. Jesus Christ, what the fuck is wrong with this door? Yeah, I know, exquisite idea. I should really have named like a better beer, like Moretsu or Saint Bernardus, or like, what was the one I used to drink all the time? It came in blue and red flavors. It was a Belgian Trappist ale. I love Trappist ales. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like working class beers too, and you know what's a great, I look, you know what I've recently gotten really into, and I don't drink so much anymore because like, I'm not gonna lie, the minute I hit 25, my body was like, you can't drink crazy amounts of liquor anymore, and then when I hit 30, my body was like, you can barely drink now. Like you can drink 1 or 2 beers a month, maybe, but if you do more than that, you're fucked. Oh, my parents have a Negro Modelo in the thing. That's not bad. Could be worse. But yeah, of late, I've gotten super into sours. Like sour beer, super underrated, super good. But yeah, I mean, and here's the thing. I like some of the working class beers. I still have kind of fond memories of like tipping back. Like, I still have semi-fond memories of like you know, being a kid and in college and just tipping back Pabst Blue Ribbon and not Bud Light but classic Bud, just yeah. That was fun. Fuck Bud Light, but like honestly, I always thought Budweiser Classic. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still kind of pissy, but like it. Yeah, exactly. When a 30 rack was $12.99, good times. Or like then you can get into like Old Milwaukee, or like actually, you know what? One of my favorite, like it's kind of hard to find in West Coast in Los Angeles now, but when I was in the East Coast, Yingling. Oh my God, Yingling is the bomb. I love Yingling. I used to like Rolling Rock, but then as I aged, I was like, this is kind of pissy. This is not for me. You know, PBR is exceptionally drinkable. Like, that's the thing. It's not good, but it's exceptionally drinkable. And it's much more drinkable than, like I said, than Budweiser, than MGD, than... I mean, and then you can also always get into, like, the malt liquors and the ice beers, like Natty Ice and Steel Reserve and... Bleh. Bleh. All right. Also, what y'all don't know is this is now my mom's office, but this is the room I grew up in. This was my bedroom when I was a kid. So y'all want to know a bit about David? This is the David lore. This was my bedroom growing up. For a long time, this room was painted yellow and white, but then one day I told my parents I was tired of living in that same yellow room, and they took it as a sign to paint the room, not to change their parenting methods. But whatever. But yeah, this is the room I grew up in. This is a really cool poster that I had in my room for a super, super long time. And to give you an idea of a super, super long time, that's the Twin Towers. This is Arts for Transit from the New York MTA. But yeah, this has been in my room since I was a small kid, as you can tell. Because like I said, this predates 9/11. Let me see. What else we got? In other news, the best cookies. I'll hear no discussion about that one. Here, we'll do a couple more like little bits of David Romano lore, and then I'm actually gonna call it a night because it's 1:15, and I need to get back to my apartment and say hi to my kitty cats and go to sleep. But all right, a little more David lore. What do we got? David lore, David lore, David lore. Oh, you're brilliant. All right. Yeah, I know the Anzac biscuits have got some like. That's a good question. Exquisite idea. I played a lot of. I'm a big audiophile, so I've got. I played a lot of music. I used to have like a homemade surround sound system where I would just take like computer speakers on computer speakers, and I had computer speakers at every corner of this room. So I had like a ghetto surround sound. That being said, as far as bands, I think I'll show you the one band poster I've got that's still left in my room even after I moved out for all these years. And here we go. Boom, ready? Anybody heard of Mika Miko? Do y'all, and for those of you who have heard of them, do you remember Mika Miko? They were amazing. One of my favorite LA punk bands from the early 2000s. Funnily enough, I was actually in Israel on holiday when they did their breakup, when they broke up and they did their final shows at the Smell. But yeah, I miss Mika Miko a lot. Mika Miko were a great like LA punk band. They had some. Turn up the phone, girl. Get excited, get excited. All right, they had some bangers. And then let's see. Jessica and Jennifer Clavin later went on and formed the band Bleached. But yeah, I got this poster when they performed at Amoeba Records. The old Amoeba Records, which is now the like interactive Van Gogh thing. But yeah, they went. Yeah, Jessica and Jennifer later went on and formed Bleached, who is also pretty cool. I don't know what happened to these guys over the years. Also, I had a friend who famously told me, "Oh yeah, Jennifer Clavin has a donk." Take that information with what you will. Let me see what else we got in the room. Yeah. Oh, I also loved the Mika Miko cover of Attitude by the Misfits. That was a lot of fun. You got some fucking attitude. I can't believe what you said to me. You got some attitude. Anyways. Anyways, what else we got? Okay. Here's another fun stuff. Back in elementary school, I won the National Geographic bee, not once, but twice. I would have won it a third time, but somebody beat me. To be honest with you, I'm not interested in business at all. All this labor shit is from my mom. My mom worked for the National Labor Relations Board for almost 40 years. She's retired now because she got a new boss not that long ago, and that boss is bigly stupid. But yeah, basically, as she was getting older and kind of matriculating towards retirement, she started moving all her crap into my room because I don't live here anymore. And so now, like, all like this is my this desk was mine as a kid. As you can tell, my ADD has removed all the like fake wood trim over here and exposed the MDF. But like this computer, this Dell, is nothing to do with me. This like office, like I have a roller chair and also carpet. This was not here when I lived here, obviously. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. All right. All right. Also, here's me at 3. Polaroid. This is something a friend from high school did. This is the brain of David Romano, or David Romano's brain. Socialism, communism, government, infringement on personal rights, 1984, bleh. Government 3.0, socialism, Bob Dylan, Fahrenheit 451. Irritation at classmates, communism, bad emo music, socially inappropriate thoughts that eventually are spoken at awkward times, British punk movement, anarchy, bisexuality. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. There's a reason this is still up in my room. It's because at the time it was written, the person who wrote it was named Lexi. But Lex, they were very prescient with what they wrote. I'm also not gonna lie. If Lex is watching this, I had a huge crush on you in high school, and I didn't know how to express that. But yeah, I'd love to be your friend in 2025. Platonically, obviously, because like, whatever. But like, yeah, I'd love to catch up with you and tell you that this all kind of came true. Also, the 3.0 thing, I failed at that one. I got a 2.7 and got kicked out of Jewish school and sent to public school. Okay, my parents they're currently vacationing in New York. There was a family wedding in upstate New York last week, and so they went to that wedding, and then they're currently touring around the Finger Lakes region of New York. Excuse me, fingering. But the point is, I have to come here every now and then because I'm cat sitting for Mr. Monty Maru. But yeah, they'll be back. They're flying back tomorrow, which is perfect because over the weekend I will absolutely not have the time or the energy to come visit young Monty. That's totally fine, exquisite idea. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm glad you found the channel or whatever. I'm probably gonna do another live with the cats. Well, not probably, almost certainly gonna do another live at the cats on Thursday. I'm also starting to crash, and I'm gonna head back at illegal speeds. So we're gonna not. Nobody's gonna snitch on me to the LAPD, and we're gonna keep it pushing. I gotta find Mr. Monty before I call it a night so we can say goodbye to at least one kitty cat. Kitty cat! Mr. Moo! Where's Mr. Moo? Oh, no, Elijah, call 999. That's the number for them in England land. Hold on, side note, question mark. Elijah, is 991 the number for them in down under, mate? Mr. Moo! Mr. Moo! Okay, bye, Mr. Moo. Bye, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm going to go back to my apartment and fall asleep.